What is going on, everybody? What is going on? The Catch fam, hope everyone is doing phenomenal tonight, man. Hope everyone is gearing up for a great weekend. Hope you all had a great Friday. You guys know what time it is, baby. It's time for some live week 4 fantasy Q&A. So you guys know what to do, man. Hit that like button on the way and hit that subscribe button. Of course, if you are new to the channel, hop in the live chat, guys. Let me know what you guys need. Let me know what fantasy questions you guys have got as we get closer and closer to week 4. Kickoff starts, sits, adds, drops, waiver wire, of course. You guys know I love my waiver wire. Trades, quarterbacks, running backs, tight ends, receivers, kickers, defense, whatever it may be. Hop in the live chat. Let me know, guys. And let me know if you guys don't necessarily have questions. How are you feeling moving into week 4? Where is your headspace at? How do you feel about your roster? How do you feel about your bench? How do you feel overall about the fantasy season thus far? We're almost 4 weeks in already. I can't believe it. I really can't. It's flying by. It is. So, anyways, excited to be here with you guys tonight. You guys know, what it is, man. We're going to have some fun. We're going to talk some fantasy football. It's going to be a good stream. We're going to go for about an hour or so. Then tomorrow night, I'll be on a little bit longer. Sunday, I'll be on for about 2 hours before kickoff. So, we still got plenty of time to get ready for week 4. All right, hit that like button on the way in. Hop in the live chat. Let's get it rolling. All right, Godfather, what's up, man? How are you doing? Good to have you in the building. Always great to have you. What's up, man? It's Chris. What's up, man? How are you doing? Great to have you. What up, what up, what up? Oh, yeah, we also could probably talk a little bit about the Dolphins and Bengals game as well. V, what's up, man? Good to have you. What's up, everybody? Appreciate you guys being here tonight. Javonte Williams or Jamal Williams at the flex. Both are good options. Both are good options. Listen, I would probably go with Jamal Williams. 24.7 points last week, and he wasn't even necessarily the lead back. But I guess when you break it down, I mean, he had 20 rushing attempts and Swift had 7, so I guess he basically was the lead back. At the end of the day, though, 24.7 fantasy points. He gets Seattle, who's not playing awful necessarily. But I do like this matchup for Williams. Jamal Williams, I should specify here. But Javonte, on the other hand, I mean, for reference, Jamal Williams is RB8 in full PPR, RB5 in standard, which is crazy. Just thinking that Swift is on the same team and has still gotten a fair amount of touches fighting through injury on the season, where Javonte Williams is coming in as RB19 overall in full PPR, right? But Javonte gets the Raiders, so it is a good matchup. Don't get me wrong. It's a good matchup. But really the usage for the Broncos running backs is just mind-blowing. I mean, like, we saw Mike Boone on the field. He didn't really do anything, don't get me wrong. He's still on the field for 19% of snaps. Gordon, 38% of snaps. Javonte, 45% of snaps. And that's just in week 3 alone, right? And when we look at week 3, Javonte had 15 rushing attempts. Melvin Gordon had 12. I don't know. I just don't love this Broncos offense. And it's either going to, make me feel like I got something right or just really bite me in the butt, because I've been really low on a lot of Broncos players. But I've also said moving into week 4, this is a big pivotal matchup from a fantasy perspective for the Broncos, who've been very inconsistent and had very low ceilings outside of Cortland Sutton on the season. But this Raiders defense is not playing well. So they could absolutely come out and kind of turn things around and shift the momentum for this offense against the Raiders. But if they do not perform well against the Raiders here in week 4, I'm going to be really down on the Broncos, even more down than I am. But I don't know if you guys have been watching some of these Broncos games, but this offense and the play calling has just been bad, right? But they get Vegas, they get Indy, they get the Chargers, they get the Jets, they get Jacksonville. I'd say Jacksonville is probably your toughest matchup in week 8 out of all those matchups. So they do have a decent stretch. But to answer your question, I would probably go Jamal Williams. There's definitely an argument for Javonte, though. All right, Jason in the house. What's up, bro? How are you doing, man? Great to have you here. Guys, hit that like button for me. Let's try and get as many likes on the stream as possible. All right, Kareem Hunt or Breece Hall at the flex. I'd probably go Breece Hall. So Hall coming in as RB18 so far in the season, 15.2 fantasy points in week 3, 11 targets, 6 receptions. Pittsburgh's defense not playing very well. I mean, like, the stats with TJ Watt and without TJ Watt are crazy. I don't know them off the top of my head, but anytime I look at them, I'm like, what in the world? They are absolutely crazy. So I probably go Breece Hall, but I do like Hunt. And it's just crazy, man. Like, Hunt against the Falcons is a good matchup in my mind. But once again, like, the Falcons defense is not playing that bad against the run. But I do like Hunt, but I think the better flex option is probably Breece Hall for the week. All right, flex Deontay Johnson or Jamal Williams. I will go Jamal Williams. I do like Deontay Johnson, don't get me wrong. He's a safe floor on a weekly basis. He really is. I mean, he had full PPR 11.5 in week 1, 13.7 week 2, 16.4 in week 3. He's a safe floor from a full PPR perspective, but Jamal Williams a far better ceiling. In the flex, I go Jamal Williams. After the review, what's up, baby? How you doing, man? Good to have you here. What up, what up? Godfather, I love how fast the weeks fly by during football season. I love it and I hate it. It comes and it goes. And then we have the dark ages of the offseason. I don't even want to think about that. But it does fly by, man. It's a good and it's a bad thing. Blessing and a curse, right? All right, Jason. Started Tua, left Higgins on bench while St. Brown is out. Yikes. I mean, you can't really beat yourself up too much for the Tua start. The Higgins start is tough. And even, like if that was your wide receiver 2 spot and you left St. Brown in just in case, you can't beat yourself up too much. But, yeah, Higgins had a great game. Great game. All right, V, with Amon Ra out, who should I start? Need a wide receiver and a flex. Garrett Wilson, Stevenson, Ayuk, and Juju. So I probably go Ayuk here. The Rams are like last in the league or second to last in the league against opposing receivers. I like Ayuk this week. I think he's a very strong flex, but you can play him in the wide receiver position here. And then it's between Garrett Wilson and Ramondre for me. I just don't see enough consistency out of Juju. You could consider him in this matchup against the Buccaneers. Could turn into a shootout, or it might not. It's a weird game script because I don't know how to evaluate the Buccaneers offense. The Buccaneers defense is good, but they're far better against the run than the pass. So, and then Stevenson gets the Packers. Like, it's a toss-up there, man. It's really tough here for the flex. Stevenson, 20 fantasy points last week, but Harris was kind of banged up. And Baltimore's defense is giving up points. I mean, Green Bay's defense going to have a good week. Here's the problem with Stevenson is I don't believe in the Patriots offense this week with either a very banged-up Mac Jones or Brian Hoyer at quarterback. So, truthfully, I'd probably go Garrett Wilson. And, listen, Wilson is playing good football. A little bit banged up, but I don't think it's anything to be concerned about. I just wonder, what is the chemistry between Zach Wilson and Garrett Wilson like? I mean, it's obviously that the Jets want to feed Garrett Wilson, so I'd probably go Garrett Wilson and Brandon Ayuk here. C. Crip, what's up, man? How are you doing? I'm doing good. Great to have you here, man. What's up? Have a start sit question in my other league. Who should I start at flex, full PPR? Pierce, J-Rob, Curtis Samuel, or Herbert now that Monty is out? Well, Curtis Samuel is definitely intriguing here. It's a Cowboys, a little steep matchup. And James Robinson is, from a fantasy perspective, he's been the best player easily out of this bunch. Pierce against the Chargers, Robinson gets the Eagles, Samuel gets the Cowboys, Herbie gets the Giants. I'd probably go Herbie fully loaded, which I can't call him that. I've been calling Justin Herbert that. But I'd probably go Khalil Herbert against the Giants. Yeah. There's an argument for all those players. It's a good position to be in, man. That's what you're fighting at the flex each week. I mean, that's good. But I think overall, you just have to go Herbert. It's too good of an opportunity. I would say James Robinson if he didn't have the matchup against the Eagles. But Herbert, I mean, really, like, if you look at what Pollard and Zeke were doing against the Giants defense last week, like, I love Herbert this week. He popped off, obviously, the 157 rushing yards in week 3 and 2 scores. So, Man, if Herbert has a bad week this week, you guys are going to be mad at me. Probably a lot of other people out there recommending Herbert on the week. No. Dortch is on the waiver still. Should I pick him up? It depends on who you have to drop. Depends if you need receiver help. But I still like Greg Dortch. And I think even with Rondell Moore coming back to this offense either this week or next, that Greg Dortch is absolutely still worth picking up because I think he's carved out a good enough overall role on this offense that we can consider him a viable part of that offense. He's going to be productive enough. So I still like Greg D. Albert, what's up, bro? How are you doing, man? Great to have you here. What's up? What's up? Deshaun, what's good, man? How are you doing? Should I flex Josh Palmer, Thielen, Reynolds, Richard James, or Rashad Penny? Man, Richie James, a fantasy player or just a player in general to keep an eye on this week. But I probably go Josh Palmer. Probably go Palmer. He's put up, as long as it's full PPR, he's put up enough consistent stat lines on a week-to-week basis. 13 in week 2 and 15.9, at least on a week-to-week basis where Keenan Allen is out. And Keenan Allen is out here in week 4 against Houston. He's not going to see the top coverage. Mike Williams is, so I would probably go Palmer here. I am interested to see how Adam Thielen plays this week in the London game and everything. At 18.1 fantasy points against Detroit, finally found the end zone, so he's not the worst option. And Penny's got a good matchup. Reynolds is kind of banged up, but he's got a good matchup too. Like I said, Richie James is someone to keep an eye on, but we just don't. I don't know. I don't know what he's going to look like as a wide receiver 1, presumably for the Giants. You know, so far on the season, 11.1 fantasy points in week 1, 10.1 in week 2, 8 in week 3, and he should be the number 1 receiver for the Giants with Shepard going down. He gets the Bears, so like I just don't know what it's going to look like. It could be really good though. Like it could be a really good opportunity against a bad defense. So I would probably go Josh Palmer as the safest play here, but Richie James is pretty intriguing as well. Fam first, what's up, bro? How you doing? Full PPR, start 1. Scary Terry, Olave, Bateman, tight end Conklin or Smith. I probably go Bateman here because I really like this matchup against the Bills. I mean, I really want to try and exploit this matchup from all angles. So I'll go Bateman here. But gosh, it's close. I mean, McLaurin brings you a safe floor on a weekly basis. Let's not get it twisted. McLaurin's not a bad option against the Cowboys. Even against Philadelphia, he still had 16.2 fantasy points, 102 receiving yards, 9 targets, 6 receptions. So I'm not out on Scary Terry, but it's a tough matchup against Dallas. So I like the matchup for Bateman on the other hand. 13.9 fantasy points in week 1 for Bateman, 20.8 in week 2. Down week in week 3 with just 2 catches for 4.9 fantasy points. I think he bounces back against the Bills as their secondary is completely banged up. Should be a shootout. So I'd probably go Bateman. And I would definitely consider Olave, but maybe we want to see how that offense looks with Andy Dalton at the quarterback position. So overall, I go Bateman, but there's an argument for all those players. Conklin or Irv Smith, man. I do think Smith is a good streaming option, but something about this London game I don't love, and we still have a lot of inconsistency on the season. 0 points in week 1, 5.2 in week 3, 14.6 in week 2. So we still have a lot of inconsistency there. I am a little bit worried about Conklin though, because I don't know if he has the same chemistry with Zach Wilson that he has with Joe Flacco. And Wilson's going to be your quarterback. I would be willing to roll the dice on Tyler Conklin, though. He's your tight end 4 in full PPR. Like, I argued for him as a sit in the tight end video, which will be dropping tomorrow. I did delay it a day, but I also kind of ended up arguing for him as a start. Like, it's just, I don't know. If he's the main tight end on your team, I think you roll with him. I will consider him the main tight end on your team over Irv Smith. So I'd probably go with Conklin here. Like I said, you're tight end 4. But we knew going into the season there was some strong buzz about Flacco and Conklin's chemistry that definitely showed, which has been good. But overall, I just don't know what it's going to look like with Zach Wilson at quarterback. And that's probably going to be my answer for a lot of Jets players. But in your situation, I go Conklin. Do you like Josh Palmer this week? Yes, I do. Full PPR, I like Palmer. With Allen out, he's been consistent enough. I do like Palmer. Thomas, what's up, bro? Got a tough one. Start one, switching every day. Oh gosh. Dylan Cooks and Dubs. I probably go Romeo Dubs here. It's a good matchup. You could consider AJ Dillon. Like, I think you have just as good of a shot for Dillon or Romeo to score here. I would bench Cooks. I really liked Cooks last week. He really disappointed me. I really liked him. I thought he'd have a much better day versus Chicago. I just don't know if we can trust him. He's wide receiver 50 right now. I don't know if we can trust him, man. I don't think that the receivers on this Texans team are viable fantasy options. It pains me, man. I like Brandon Cooks. I just want to see a more consistent pattern emerge before we are, recommending him on a weekly basis. So, like I said, Dillon and Doobie probably have just as good of a shot to score as the other. If it's full PPR, I'd probably go Romeo Dubs. If it's anything else, I'd probably go AJ Dillon. But Dillon's been down in the last 2 weeks, so it's kind of tough to say, right? Like, the strong performance in week 1 at 20.1 fantasy points. Then week 2, 7.7. Week 3, 5.8, although he had Tampa Bay in week 3, so tough matchup. But he gets New England. The Patriots defense has been good against the run. They've allowed the 4th fewest fantasy points to opposing running backs. They haven't even given up a touchdown to a running back this season, which is kind of crazy. So maybe go Romeo Dubs there, looking at the matchup. Although I don't like the game script here for the Patriots in week 4. But regardless, I go Romeo Dubs at the end of the day. All right, I have to watch all the Broncos games living in Denver, and it's rough. Lots of growing pains. Man, there definitely have been, and from a fantasy perspective, it's been really bad. It has. But I do think they can still turn the season around. Don't get me wrong. This is a big week for the Broncos for me in my eyes. All right, Gabe Davis or Drake London. What's up, Made for TV? How are you, bro? Davis's injury worries me a little bit. I would say if you're worried about Davis's injury, although I do really like Gabe Davis this week in this matchup. Let's see if we have an update on Gabe Davis. Still questionable. Limited on Friday's practice, but told the media he will play. It's a good matchup, man. It's a really good matchup. But I will say, if you're worried about it, trust your gut, right? Trust that instinct, trust that feeling. Because Drake London is in a really good position to have a good game as well. So we've got Gabe Davis questionable, but overall, Drake London against the Browns is a matchup I like. And Drake London is playing really good football, guys. Really, really good football. He's your wide receiver 15 in full PPR, 12.4 fantasy points in week 1, 24.6 in week 2, 14.4 in week 3. I think he only continues to build on that success throughout the season. So I would say if you're worried about Gabe Davis, go Drake London. I'm fine with that. Linsky, what's up, bro? How are you doing? Great to have you here. Respect my beard gaming. What's up, man? How are you? What's up, baby? Great to have you in the house. What's up? What's up? Appreciate you stopping by tonight. Millie, Carr, or Mariota? I go Carr. But you can consider Mariota. Man, I hope this Vegas Broncos game doesn't turn into a freaking just low-scoring mess. I mean, the Broncos defense has been good. They've been tough against opposing quarterbacks. They're allowing the 2nd fewest fantasy points per game. It is tough. But I still think I'd go Carr. 14.8 fantasy points in week 1, 18.9 in week 2, 20.8 in week 3. It's QB 12 on the season. I think I'd go Carr, but there's definitely an argument for Mariota here. Mariota is your QB 14. He's not too far behind. Going up against the Browns. Let's see here. Let me see if there's any good stats I can pull. The Browns have surrendered at least 15 fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks every game this season. He hasn't had more than 14.5 fantasy points since week 1. Matchup-wise, Browns probably the better defense to exploit here. I still think I go Carr, though. But there's your argument for both ways. Damien, Cowboys defense this week, I think they're fine. Yeah, I think they're a good start. I think that Washington bounces back slightly. Like, they played better than they did against Philadelphia, but I still would give the hand to the Cowboys defense. I got you, V, of course. Who should I flex this week? Olave, London, or Samuel? I'd probably go London. I mean, Olave's turning it up, man. I'm not trying to be down on Olave, but we got Andy Dalton starting at quarterback. Could be positive. Could be negative. We want to wait and see. Curtis Samuel I do like a lot right now. Don't get me wrong, man. I'm not off on Curtis Samuel whatsoever. He's still wide receiver 12 in full PPR. He's a good start in week 4. Like Dallas, you know, I mean, we just talked about them. They're a good defense, but you still got Dotson floating around. Still got Scary Terry floating around. You got Gibson and McKissick out the backfield. You got Logan Thomas. Like, there's a lot. You know, as bad as the Commanders looked last week, and as disappointing as they've been on the season, like, the offense is probably going to produce viable fantasy starters across the board on a weekly basis. So I'm not out on Curtis Samuel. I think London's a safer floor. Samuel may be a little bit more upside, but personally I'd probably start London. I like London a lot this week. Albert, who's a better streaming option this week? Mac Hollins or Josh Palmer? I would probably go Palmer. Safer floor. Hollins probably gives you more upside, but I just have a sketchy feeling about Mac Hollins. I didn't pick him up in any leagues. I'm either going to pay for it or not pay for it. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's any waiver move, right? The Broncos are a difficult matchup. They have given up the least amount of PPR fantasy points in the league to opposing receivers. Let's take a quick look here. Hunter Renfro's been banged up. Hunter Renfro has 16 targets on the season. Devontae Adams has 34. Mac Hollins has 20. So Adams is still your guy, right? Keelan Cole has 4 targets. So, and that's about everybody, right? I mean, Waller, of course, so far on the season has 19 targets. So, yeah, Mac Hollins is number 2 on the team. He's definitely behind Adams in targets by 14. But yeah, I didn't really look at running backs. I don't think we necessarily need to. But, you know, Mac Hollins hasn't ate too much into the production. Last week it really seemed like it. I just have a sketchy feeling. Like, I don't know, man. He had 11.6 fantasy points in week 2. Don't get me wrong. It's a tough matchup versus Denver. I mean, I guess it depends if it also, like, is Hunter Renfro out? Yeah, he's going to miss this game. Good for him. Don't rush back from the concussion, right? But I just think it's a much safer play to go Josh Palmer. Howdy, got chat? Let me know. I'm a little bit behind, but let me know in the chat. How do you guys feel about Mac Hollins? I'm genuinely interested. How do we feel about Olave with the ginger at quarterback? Considering playing him over Sutton, I will go Sutton, man. I will go Sutton for sure. I mean, he's your wide receiver 18, 11.2 in week 1, 19.7 in week 2, 17.7 in week 3. I would go Sutton, man. I mean, the Raiders have been okay in terms of, like, fantasy, but they're allowing 267 passing yards per game. The secondary has not been playing well. The targets will be there for Sutton. I would definitely go Sutton if it was my roster. And don't get me wrong, I like Olave, guys. I'm with it. Wide receiver 24 in PPR. I love the target share in the last 2 weeks. 13 targets, And in the last 2 weeks, he's led the Saints receivers in the last 2 weeks overall, right? And Michael Thomas is banged up, right? He's out. So, like, there's not as much competition. Don't get me wrong, Landry's floating around. And he's questionable at the moment, though. But Marquez Callaway, Traquan Smith, like, they can play some ball, right? We're probably going to see some Taysom Hill action in this game, too. But, listen, I'm not out on Olave. These London games, you tend to see some defenses go out the window, right? You can take a chance on Olave. I'm not saying that you can't. But how is this offense going to look with Andy Dalton at the quarterback position? I don't know. Right? It's a little bit of uncertainty there. Kamara's questionable at the moment. And he does not have more than 61 rushing yards on the season, which is better than I thought. Mark Ingram could be your starting running back. I don't know. I mean, Ingram's not bad, don't get me wrong, but I'm just feeling a little sketchy about Olave this week. I want to see what happens with the red rifle, right? And Albert, the next question, do you still like Olave or Dalton starting? Yeah, and Godfather's saying Olave falls for me. Yeah, like he falls. But he's not the worst flex option still. Like he's going to be the number one option for the Saints against the Vikings in a London matchup. Like that's the bottom line, right? But the other bottom line is Andy Dalton's the starting quarterback. Reese, what's up? Philly or Dallas for defense? I'd probably go Dallas. Listen, Philly's the real deal, offensively and defensively. They're defense 4 on the season, and the Cowboys are far behind. Defense 20. So you can definitely consider Philly here. I mean, we've seen Trevor Lawrence make his fair share of mistakes. But I just have a feeling Jacksonville's going to keep this competitive. The Eagles had 5 fantasy points in Week 1 against Detroit, 13 in Week 2 against Minnesota, 20 in Week 3 against Washington. I just have a feeling Jacksonville's going to keep it competitive. If you don't have that feeling, well, then start Philadelphia, right? Let's take a look here. Yeah, I don't have any crazy stats I can pull up very quickly here, but I kind of believe in Jacksonville's offense. I think they can keep this thing competitive, man. I really do. It kind of depends. Do you have more faith in Jacksonville's offense or Washington's? If the answer is Washington, then you start Philly. If the answer is Jacksonville, then you start Dallas. I have a better feeling about Dallas going into this week. I mean, that defensive line's playing for real, man. Michael Parsons is playing for real. I probably go Dallas. I think overall, Philly's a better defense. Don't get me wrong. But I'd probably still go Dallas for this week. Albert, I go Sutton over Olave. I agree. Vikings D is very soft shell. The 5-yard routes there all day. It's a good point. It's a good point. Spencer in the building. What's up, Spence? H2H draft because it's Friday. I mean, we have to, don't we, bro? Don't we? Let me see here. I got to deposit. How much are the head-to-head drafts? 3-person, 2-person. Oh, we can do a $5. I'll do one with you. Hold on. Let me get. Let me make sure you're still in the chat, Spence. Let me get an update here. I'm so far behind. All right, Spence. Oh yeah, send me the link in Discord. Okay, that works, bro. That works. All right, me and Spence will do a head-to-head, and we'll keep up with the fantasy Q&A. Let's see. Thoughts on Eckler this week? I'm good with Eckler, man. I'm good with Eckler. I really am. I like this matchup against the Texans. I really do. I think this could be a week where Eckler finally finds the end zone. Like, let's hope, right? I feel far more confident about Eckler this week than I have in other weeks. All right, me versus Spence. Let's go. Let's go. Weak run D, but actually 8th against receivers. After the Vikings. Sorry, I lost all my spots here. Is Higgins a better start than Chase going forward? I would say Higgins has more upside. Let's say Higgins has more upside. But I'm not out on Chase, especially in full PPR. Okay? I want to make sure people understand that. But T. Higgins is your wide receiver 7 in full PPR. Wow. Chase is 6. I didn't actually expect that. Yeah, so like there's no reason to be out on Jamar Chase. The ceiling just hasn't felt as high. I think that's not including week 4 though. But still, it can't be that much of a drastic difference, right? Whew. I wasn't expecting that, even without week 4. I still think at the moment, and most people would agree, the ceiling feels higher overall for Higgins, right? I didn't even look. Like, what's the lineup here, Spence? Just one QB? Okay. Oh, I get 2 picks, don't I? Ooh, I don't know who I want to pick here. Oh, this is just the afternoon slate, isn't it? I'm going heavy RB. Yeah, Chase is still very close, man. Still very close. I'm not out on Chase. I don't think there's any reason to be, especially in full PPR. But yeah, the ceiling does look like it's a little bit higher for Higgins at the moment. Ash, what's going on? Good to have you here. Hello, hello. Higgins and Chase are both must-starts. That's probably the best way to put it. ETN, Damian Harris or Stevenson in full PPR, gosh, is so tough. So tough. You just don't know. You're flipping a coin every week with those two. You really are. You're flipping a coin every week with those two players. Full PPR, I'd probably go Stevenson. Chuba or Foreman, we're going to find out, right? I take a chance on Foreman, personally. I take a chance on Foreman, personally. Flex Brees for Mondre, Melvin G, or Dortch. I will go Brees Hall, Ash. I will go Brees Hall for sure. But I guess I have to draft a tight end here. Yeah, I'm going Goodert. Spence, send me another link. Let's do another one. If you want to. I'll check on Discord. I'm way behind the chat. If you want to, let me know. I'll do one more with you, bro. I don't know what this team was. Let's see. Spencer gets Mark Andrews, Diggs, Adams, Pittman, Lamar Jackson, JT. I basically had the opposite draft in terms of positions, right? Josh Allen, Barkley, Chubb, Brown, Cooper. And I chose Cooper specifically against you, Spencer, because you were on Cooper all off season and I was out. Then I got Goddard at tight end. So, all right, Spence, I got you. Let's do it. Let's do it. There's your underdog action for the night. Me versus Spence. All right, Browns D might be without Garrett and Clowney. Yeah, I think like Steven had them in the must-start defenses, and he ended up regretting that. I mean, the Falcons could have a good day. Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and Cordell Patty and Cheese could definitely have good days. Anyone have the balls to play Baltimore defense this weekend? Oh, God, no. Jared Penny subscribing to the channel. Very, very kind of you. Welcome to Catch Fam. Very kind to you. Spence almost at 2K. A lot quicker to 2K than 0 to 1K was. You're telling me, bro. Yeah. This month has been crazy for the channel. Thank you to all you guys for all the support, man. It's been incredible. It's been an absolute grind. And it's going to continue to be till the season's over. But thank you guys, man, so much for all the support. No, I can't touch Baltimore's defense or the Bills' defense this week. Carr or Russell in a bad position quarterback this week. I go Carr. You could definitely consider Russell there. It's tough to say, man. Tough to say. You might go Russell against the Raiders defense, man. But gosh, is it tough. Good evening, everyone. Thoughts on Russell Wilson this week? What's up, Emil? You know, to be honest, I think Russell can have a good game. I just hate the play calling for this team right now. I just don't see the upside, man. But it's a pivotal week, and they get the Raiders. Their defense has not been playing well against the pass. So you can definitely consider Russell if you own him after the review or a meal. But I'm just not crazy about it. Doesn't make me feel good. Like, not even close to good. Go AJ Brown. Go JT. I just want to remind everyone that I said Olave was going to be better than MT in fantasy and be the wide receiver one in New Orleans for weeks before the season started. One of my better takes, it's looking like suspense. You were on. That was your boy. That was one of your boys. I haven't forgotten. I haven't forgotten most of your guys' calls. Some of them have been better than mine, right? Kids, I traded Godwin, Schultz, Bateman for Andrews. Is that a W? My other wide receivers are Kupp, AJ Brown, Lennon, Myers, Dotson. Yeah. Man, Mark Andrews balling out. Like, I don't have any beef with that move whatsoever. I'm good with it, man. I am. If you, like Spencer said, if you have good receivers, then yes. And you still have good receivers. So, yeah. I don't have any problem with that whatsoever. Oh my gosh. I did not mean for that to happen. You can only, I thought I could draft 3. No, because I have 2. Oh, I messed up, Spence. I wanted Lamar Jackson or Hurts in this draft. But it's okay. It's okay. I'll go Waller. I don't love it. Yeah, I wanted a different QB since I got Allen last time. Spence ends up with Diggs. No, it's me. Andrews, Chubb, Pittman, Adams, Williams. Ooh, Jamal Williams. I like that pick, Spence. And Hurts. Yeah, I wanted Hurts, man. But I got Allen. I mean, he'll be fine, right? All right, Spence. That should be fun, man. We'll leave that up on the screen for now. Yeah, I like to trade for Andrews, Gits. 3 receiver leagues, so you're still starting. Kupp, AJ Brown in London. Yeah, man, you're fine. You're fine. All right, hold on. Flex would go from London, Godwin, Bateman to Jacoby Myers, though. I thought you're starting. Oh, because you have to. Wait, 3 wide receiver leagues, so you could start Kupp, Brown, London, but then you have to flex at least one of them. Well, flex Dotson, right? I think I read that right. Dirty Dan, what's up, bro? Kirk or Breece Hall? Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. It's a tough matchup for Christian Kirk. Full PPR, I go Kirk. Any other scoring format, I go Hall. It's a tough matchup for Christian Kirk this week against the Eagles. But he's still like wide receiver 6 and full PPR, right? It's tough, man. I like Hall this week. I think he's in a good position against the Steelers. So Hall feels a little bit safer in terms of the matchup. But I It's just tough, man. I really like Kirk right now. Chat, what do you guys think? Breece Hall or Christian Kirk? Hall has the Steelers. Kirk has Jacksonville. Excuse me, Kirk is on Jacksonville. He has the Eagles. All right, Joshua with the super chat. Very, very kind of you, man. Thank you so much for the $5 dono. Appreciate that, man. Very, very kind of you. Need some advice. Full point PPR, super flex. Have Ryan, Rodgers, and Goff. Need 2. Need a wide receiver and flex. Have DJ Moore, Dortch, ETN, Burks, Lazard. Thanks. I got you, bro. Of course. Thanks again for the super chat. So, I would not start Matt Ryan in this position, man. Not even close for me. Rodgers has been disappointing. I get it. But he gets a very bad New England defense who just got shredded last week by Baltimore. I will go Aaron Rodgers, and I will go Goff. I like Goff this week, man. And Matt Ryan is playing bad football. And he's not offering a good enough ceiling on a weekly basis. His QB 29. He's not had more than 13.2 fantasy points on the season. I would not start him. Jared Goff is QB 11 against Seattle. Seattle's playing okay. They're like neutral. They're not playing that bad against opposing quarterbacks, but I think Goff is exponentially better than Matt Ryan. And I like Rodgers. So I go with those two. Undoubtedly. That's easy for me, man. Yeah, Rodgers and Goff. Need a wide receiver and a flex. So you got Moore, Dortch, ETN, Burks, Lazard. I would definitely start Lazard here. Take that potential stack, right, with Rodgers. I think you have to start Allen Lazard, undoubtedly. Greg Dortch might be my next move here. He had a little bit of a back injury, but he's good to go. Let's see what Rondale Moore. It's just tough. I like Greg Dortch for sure if Rondale Moore does not play. If Rondale Moore plays, he could be limited. So I think that's, that's good in terms of Greg Dortch's fantasy outlook. I probably go Greg Dortch. ETN and Burks, just not enough consistency, not high enough ceiling so far. ETN's got a tough matchup. Burks, like you're really rolling the dice. DJ Moore, just probably one of the most disappointing names in fantasy right now. He did have 13.3 fantasy points against the Giants in week 2, but outside of that, 8 points in week 1, 2.5 in week 3. Let's see here. The Cardinals have been good against wide receiver ones on the season. Wow, I didn't even... Devontae Adams and Cooper Kupp both failed to have 4 receptions or 50 yards against Cardinals thus far in the year. I would sit more. I just don't like it. I will go Greg Dortch. I might even go Greg Dortch regardless of Rondale Moore's situation and Lazard here. If you don't go Greg Dortch, I'd roll the dice on Burks. But just be prepared to be disappointed. So overall, Rodgers, Goff, Lazard, Dortch would be who I would have in my personal lineup, Joshua. So hope that was helpful. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. Very, very kind to you, bro. All right, Steven just sent me an offer. CH and Olave for Derrick Henry. Oh, okay. Then I saw you. Okay, sorry, the next chats you sent me, Spencer, I thought you said you were like agreeing to Steven's trade. I was like, what? Steven's notorious for sending out very bad trades. So don't take it personally. He sent me an awful trade today, too. So, Steven, if you're listening, you need to offer better trades. Waller or Pitts? I go Waller. But Pitts is fine, Damian. Pitts is fine. I mean, it's probably a better matchup for Pitts, but Waller's playing better on the season. Full PPR, you might want to consider Pitts. I like Waller slightly more. It's tough. Probably a better matchup for Pitts, like I said. Would you start Devonta Smith, Miles Sanders, Damian Pierce at flex? I would go Smith. Jared, I would go Devonta Smith for sure. Temperature check. I have T. Higgins. Would you trade him for Chase right now? Probably not. Probably not. I mean, gosh, it's. I mean, like, this is gonna be tough, guys, because they're so close. They really are. I mean, before week 4, Chase was wide receiver 6, Higgins was wide receiver 7. Higgins had 25.4 points in week 4. Chase had 12.1. Like, they're still not that far apart. Let's just take a quick look. Jamar Chase has 41 targets on the season. 41. Higgins has 28. And that is through 4 games. 20 receptions for Higgins. 25 for Chase. 293 receiving yards for Chase. 2 scores. 315 receiving yards for Higgins. 2 scores. The upside has just felt like it's been there for Higgins. The ceilings have felt a little bit better for Higgins. But overall, guys, these 2 receivers are neck and neck. If you feel better about Higgins, I guess you go for him. I think at the end of the day, I would trust the chemistry and the connection between Chase and Burrow. They're very close, guys. And I do own T. Higgins in more than 1 league. It's very close. I would not be panicking on Chase at the moment. But you're saying I have Higgins. Would you trade him for Chase? Okay, I was kind of reading that backwards. Sorry, Suave. That's fine. That's fine. But Chase and Higgins are just close right now, guys. I'm not against that, actually. But you gotta that's a question like you just gotta trust your own gut with, like, because you're gonna either end up being disappointed or not disappointed. So you just gotta prepare for either scenario. I'm not against it. If you feel better about Chase, I'm not against it. Higher upside, Hawk or Goddard? I would go Goddard. I will go Goddard for sure. I'll go Goddard. George Haney, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much, man. Welcome to the Catch fam. Very, very kind of you to subscribe tonight. Sorry, I just punched my mic. With Tua out, do I trade for Brady at less value or try and get Mahomes? He has Jalen. Give up more value doing it. I probably go for Mahomes. It depends on your roster. Depends on how much you have to give up. Man, a team with Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. Yeah. He might be willing to accept not as much as he think because he has Jalen Hurts. I will say I think Tom Brady is a really good buy low opportunity right now. Listen, I'm not in love with that offense. I'm not in love with that offensive line. I am worried about Brady. But when you look at how many injuries his receiving core has had throughout the season and how good that defense is playing, if this team can get healthy and the offensive line can step up, I do think Brady can turn it around. So, dude, you can trade just about nothing for Tom Brady. So I think, maybe you start there and you see what you can trade for Brady. And you see, you can go fishing and on both teams. See what you have to give up for Mahomes. And whatever benefits your roster more, go for. Will Etienne have any value this year besides handcuff? Man, listen, going in the season, I like James Robinson. Don't get me wrong. And I said it throughout the offseason, that I thought Robinson would be utilized heavily within this offense. But I also said I thought Etienne would still be utilized, on third downs and then through the passing game and, have PPR value. Man, he's RB 37 in PPR. He has 10 targets through 3 games. 75 total yards in week 3. I mean, he has had at least 30 receiving yards in the last 2 games. I think if you own Etienne, There are fantasy managers who want to buy him low right now. Depends on how bad you need the help. But I think a majority of you guys, it's just best to sit back and hold. There's still potential he has value on the season, yeah. But at the moment, yeah, handcuff value is mainly what we're seeing. I feel like Houston's going to get smoked. So where's the volume going to be? That's fair. That's fair. And oh my gosh, I'm too behind in the chat at this point. I don't remember who that was in reference to. If it was Eckler. It was probably Eckler, right? That's fair, but I do think that Eckler has the potential to just go out and score overall, right? Early. Hopefully early. I want an early touchdown for Eckler. I'm an Eckler owner, by the way, so... but it's a fair point, Jared. If you do more H2H, the 1.1 should be Andrews. Save the QB for later. Only true positional advantage this week is Andrews. I do like the fact that you took Andrews at 1.1 in both. Or no, I think you took him. You had the second pick in the first draft. I went QB in the early in the first draft we did, which was a mistake. Let's see here. Etienne is a solid bench guy to fill in for her player. Could develop a larger role, I agree. Picking Jamal over CMC and Henry feels weird. It probably does, Spence. But really, in a lot of these like small drafts and everything, how much is the payout for this, by the way? $9. That's fun. And like the the different tournaments they're doing and everything, like on a week-to-week basis. You do want to kind of pick those dart throw players, right? Those guys who could just completely pop off, who aren't necessarily ranked at the top. Spence likes Higgins' role more this year. Chase is being used as a deep threat, and teams are doubling him. Yeah, like that is definitely, undoubtedly benefiting Chase. But they both have a good role within this offense at the same time. How did Boyd finish in week 4? He wasn't as involved. I just spelled Boyd with 2 O's. He's still wide receiver 19. 5 targets, 2 receptions in week 4. Boyd just ends up being the inconsistent guy, but he's still going to have good games throughout the year. It's going to be tough to start with that inconsistency. Spencer definitely had Higgins over Chase in the offseason. Lucius, what's up, bro? Had an upset JT owner asking me about a swap for Henry. Needs tight end help, so ask for Ertz as well. I have Wallace or Ertz on my bench. Tempted to get the 1.1, but is it worth it? Yeah. If you're getting... Here's the thing, though. Like, so wait, you're sending Henry and Ertz. I will say with Waller's injury history, Ertz on your bench is pretty nice with Ertz coming in. I mean, Ertz on the season, from a fantasy perspective, so far has performed better than Waller. He's tight end 3 versus Waller at tight end 5. But, and let's just double check here. So Henry is RB 17, 7.2 week 1, 8.5 week 2, 25.3 week 3. So RB 17. JT is RB 11. So he's still 6 spots ahead. 27.5 week 1, 7.3 week 2, 12.1 in week 3. So there's 6 spots in between them. I would just say this much. Henry and Ertz, like, don't downplay Ertz just because he's on your bench and because he's a veteran, or like he hasn't been as flashy, but like I said, I mean, he holds a lot of value right now in fantasy football, without a doubt. He's tight end 3. I mean, he's had at least 10.5 fantasy points every year or every week so far this year. So you should get a second player out of that, even if JT's involved. But yeah, overall the trade's not bad. You should be able to get a second player undoubtedly. He's probably going to have to drop a player anyways. And literally cite that. I mean, Ertz is performing better than your starter right now. But like I said, the only thing I would think about is Waller has an injury history. So, just consider that, right? All right, let's see. Spencer, yeah, A.J. Dillon. We were both high on A.J. Dillon. Don't get me wrong. That was like, I mean, I didn't end up with Dillon in any drafts, and I think it's because everyone I was drafting with knew I was so high on Dillon. Have AJ on my bench. Want to use him as a trade piece, but I'll be pissed if Jones gets injured. Don't forget that if you do own AJ Dillon, you know, outside of the week 1 performance, he's been very disappointing, but he is still a phenomenal handcuff. Phenomenal handcuff so far. All right. Sorry, I just lost my spot in the chat. All right. You think I should drop Juju for Dortch? Meh. Probably not. I like Dortch, but here's the issue. Like, if Rondell Moore wasn't part of the equation and him coming back, I would say yes. But for now, I probably hold. I mean, Juju's got Tampa Bay, Vegas, Buffalo, San Francisco, then a bye week. Some tough matchups here. Tampa Bay is not awful. Vegas is good. Buffalo's banged up. San Francisco's a bad matchup, but in terms of evaluating a player, it's a good stretch, right? Some different challenges there. I like Dortch more this week than Juju, because I think even if Moore plays, he's on a, you know, he's somewhat limited. But overall, maybe you wait. Let's see. Also, Pollard and Zeke, pray one of them gets hurt for fantasy purposes, not to wish an injury. Would make things easier for you. That's for sure. All right, let's see here. Trying to get caught up. Lockett, CH, or Dortch at flex. I will go Lockett. Lockett, 2 good performances in a row. I mean, gosh, I started to think towards the end of the offseason, like, man, I kind of think I should start to target Tyler Lockett in the drafts, because even if his production dips, like, how much can it really dip? You know, wide receiver 15 in 2021, wide receiver 8 in 2020. Like, I mean, Wilson and Smith is a big jump at quarterback, but so far he's wide receiver 30 on the year, 19.7 points in week 2, 16.6 in week 3, and he gets Detroit, who's been relatively generous, allowing the 7th most fantasy points per game to the position through first 3 games of the season. So I like Lockett a lot in the flex. George. Let's see here. Spence says Brady manager stop tripping. Having Evans back and Godwin coming back, he will be fine. Same with Fournette. Once the wide receivers are back, he will produce again. Teams are loading the box with the lack of wide receiver depth Tampa Bay has right now. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I do like Brady as a buy low option. And, like, especially if you have a guy like Trevor Lawrence or Jared Goff that you can float for now. I like buying Brady low, and you just got to think about a lot of teams out there right now. Dak Prescott, gone after week 1. Trey Lance, gone after week 2. Week 3, we were in the clear. Start to week 4, we've got 2 are out for an undetermined amount of time. Trevor Lawrence, Jared Goff, my 2 favorite quarterbacks to go after on this in terms of the waiver wire if they're floating around. Although, a little bit of a tough matchup in week 4 for Trevor Lawrence. You just got to keep an eye on T-Law, man. And, like I said, consider buying Brady low. I really do think he's a good buy low. Greg, which one of these would you stash for 12th team redraft PPR league? Pickens, Pierce, or Randall Robinson? Pierce for sure. Pierce for sure for me. Brady or Wilson this week? Man. Wilson's got the better matchup, but Brady's got the better game script. Gosh, it's a coin flip. I might go Wilson by a hair. I mean, we're talking up Brady, but I might want to give it another week or so. I might go Brady. I like the game script, man. Chat, who would you pick there? Tom Brady or Russell Wilson? It's close. Cheddarhead, what's up, man? DK or Curtis Samuel in full PPR. I would go DK by a hair. I like Curtis Samuel. Don't get me wrong. I would go DK just by a hair here. Against the Lions, I go DK. DK is a safer floor. Samuel's maybe a little bit more upside. V, we'll talk to you later, bro. Connor Robinson. I don't feel good about Connor this week. And James Conner has been like one of my guys forever since last season. 7.1 fantasy points in week 1, 8.7 in week 3 after the solid performance in week 1 at 15.5. He's off the injury report. He gets Carolina. Let's see. Been pretty inefficient. 1 touchdown on the season. Right. Robinson has a tough matchup versus Philly, though. Connor gets the Panthers. I probably go Robinson. I mean, they're not playing that well against the run, actually. They're playing much better against and through the air. But gosh, that D-line is good. I go Robinson. It's Crypt just traded Devontae Adams for Eckler. I'm not against it. If you didn't need the extra receiver, I mean, I still like Adams, but I'm not totally against it if it didn't hurt your receiving core. George, I would go Lockett. Let's see. I traded Eckler and Madison for Higgins, Sutton, Swift. Woo! Yeah, I mean, Spencer's saying you'd rob that guy, but if Cook tears his Achilles, then no. But as of right now, that's a steal. Oh, wait. It was Eckler, Madison for Swift and Breece Hall. Not a bad trade. Not a bad trade if Hall lives up to his expectations. But the first trade I like better. Where'd the first trade come from? Let's see. Let me try and catch up here. When Prescott is healthy, him or Stafford rest of the season? Probably Prescott by a hair. Probably Prescott by a little bit. Nothing too crazy, but Stafford's been pretty disappointing on the season. Can you guys help me, please, on who I should start at flex? I have Juju, Judy, Zay Jones, Doobie, and Gordon. Thank you. Whew. What's up, Sawyer? I probably go... I don't hate Judy, but gosh, the last 2 weeks have just been really down for him. Right? Really down. After 20 points in week 1, 2.2 in week 2, 3.7 in week 3. Oh, man. It's a good overall matchup against the Raiders, who've been okay against receivers. They're just giving up a lot of yards through the air. Dude, I probably go Romeo Dubs here. I'd probably go Dubs. Guys, what do you think? Juju, Judy, Zay Jones, Doobie, or Gordon? I probably would go Dubs, Juju, Judy. I'd probably said Zay Jones. I mean, I think he could have a decent floor. But I'd probably go... I probably said Melvin Gordon just due to the inconsistency, although the Raiders have not been good against the run. It's a tough flex choice here. I'd probably go Romeo Dubs against the Patriots defense. After the review says Brady, I ride with the GOAT in big games. I do like this game script against the Chiefs. Can't disagree with that. CH for Dobbins. I would keep CH personally. I will keep CH. I just don't like the usage for the Ravens backfield. So I go CH. Well, for this, okay, for the trade overall in the season, yeah, I go CH. But for the week, I'd probably go Dobbins. You know, it's not a good matchup against Tampa Bay for CH, that's for sure. It's not a great matchup for Dobbins either. But on the season, I would rather have CH so far. It's Dulles season. Let's go. Jerry, what's up, bro? What's up? What's up? Great to have you. How are you doing, man? I had to drop Doobie because I had no room for him. You got to make those tough decisions sometimes, man. It hurts. But if that's in the Catch Fam League, then you didn't need dubs anyways. Does hurt though, right? Herbert, Jacobs, Dylan, hat PPR, Herbert. Not even close, Herbert. Herbert's going to have a great week against the Giants. Other two have too much inconsistency. Too much of a gamble. I go Herbert for sure. I'm a biased Dubs owner. Fair enough. Dubs season, Dubs of the moon. Let's go. Yeah, man, I go Herbert for sure. I mean, Pollard and Zeke just tore up that Giants defense. I go Herbert, no doubt. Thank you, bro. Great videos, by the way. I appreciate that, man. Very kind to you. Very kind. I got you, Klondike, of course, man. That's what we do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're a little bit over an hour, so I am going to go ahead and wind things down. I got to work in the morning, and I got to do a couple things before I go to bed. I need to try and be asleep by 1 a.m. for sure. So that's going to do it for tonight's stream, as I finally got caught up to the end of the chat here. So thank you guys so much for hanging out tonight. Thank you guys for all the new subscribers. Appreciate you guys, man. I'll be on tomorrow for a little bit longer. Saturday night streams, we always go a little bit longer overall. So I'll probably be on 10, 10:30, 11. I'll let you guys know on Discord. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to join our Discord down below. Best way for me to communicate with you guys collectively, and best way for you guys to get community updates. And of course, we have non-stop fantasy Q&A any time of the day on there as well, in a very active Discord community. So outside of that, I will be on Sunday before kickoff around 11 a.m. I'm usually on for 2 to 3 hours, sometimes earlier than 11 a.m. So we usually have a pretty good pre-kickoff stream Sunday morning. So we still got plenty of time to get you guys' rosters right as well. But thank you guys so much for being here tonight, man. Thank you guys for spending part of your Friday night here at the channel. Jerry, Conklin or Schultz for the rest of the season? I will go Schultz because on the season, we don't quite know how Conklin and Wilson, what their chemistry looks like. But Conklin, if he performs well here in week 4, it's probably Conklin. He's playing really good football. But I just don't know if the same chemistry floats around with the quarterback change. So I'll probably go Schultz on the season. First time viewer sub, thanks for the answers. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel, man. That's very kind to you. And we look forward to having you in plenty more of the streams. And I hope you enjoy the weekly uploads as well. Let's go, man. Welcome to the Catch Fam. Ash, we got you, of course. That's what we do. Jerry, sorry you came in here at the end. We will talk to you soon, man. Great to have you, though. London game at 9:30. Yeah, that's a good point. I'll be on before the regular slate of games, not including the London game. And we'll have some London game updates throughout the stream. So that should actually be kind of fun. But it's a good point. After the review, always good to have you, man. We'll talk to you soon. Talk to you soon, bro. Always good to have you, bro. Bring back the 4+ hour Saturday night streams. Man, I do miss those. Those were fun last year. But I got to make sure I get my sleep these days with the baby and everything. And the other thing I've realized is like the Sunday morning stream is definitely important. So I got to make sure I get enough sleep between Saturday and Sunday morning as well. But maybe at some point we'll have a really long Saturday night stream at some point in the season for sure, Jerry. But I do miss them. Those were good times, bro, for sure. I haven't forgotten about those, the OG days of the channel. So thank you guys so much for being here tonight, man. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for all the fantasy questions and the great discussion tonight. Thank you to everyone who was in the chat, everyone who listened in, everyone who watched the stream tonight. Check out all the links down below. Hit me up on Instagram or Discord if you guys need anything in the meantime. Those are the two best places to reach me outside of the streams and the comment section. Guys, we have starts and sits for quarterbacks, running backs, and receivers out. Must-start kickers, must-start defenses out. And starts and sits for tight ends will drop tomorrow. Was delayed a day. Apologies. It's on me completely. I had some car issues this week that really messed me up. So regardless, check out the uploads. Hit me up in the comments. Hit me up on Discord and Instagram if you guys need anything. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. That'll do it. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys for everything. You guys are the best. Love this community. Love the Catch Fam. Love this channel. Love being here for you guys and with you guys. So with that, I'll say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, you saw it here on the Catch. And